I remember what it was like to do my first show. I had no idea what I was doing, by the way. I had done all of the research on my own, the diet on my own, the training on my own. And as a fitness professional, I kind of felt like it was my responsibility to know what to do for my body and to have fun in this process of exploration, this foray into bodybuilding. Fast forward about 10 whole years later, I now get to share everything I've learned about competing with women from around the globe, including a handful of whom entrust me with their own journey. Today, I want to introduce you to Ursula. I tend to attract women to me who have amazing stories. Ursula is no exception to that. She recently turned 51 years old and doesn't look a day over 35, is a mom and military vet who is a shining example to her family of what embracing a life dedicated to health and fitness is all about. And as of today, our amazing journey is about to culminate this weekend with her ripped to the gods and standing on stage to display her hard work to the world. Today, I want to give you a private look into something most people never see: a figure competition prep peak week in action. The diet, the training, the insatiable hunger, and what exactly I'm doing as a coach to work my magic and bring this body into hardcore, lean, elite athlete glory. Let's dig in. My job as a coach is to inspire women to their best. And what you're about to see tonight is going to be shocking for some of you because you've never quite been into the bodybuilding world. And I want to introduce you to one of my clients. Now, here's the thing. Because this look that she has is so extreme, because this look that she has is so incredible, and it's a look that only a very few amount of people can reach through hard work and to do it naturally, I want you to respect her. And if you're new to the bodybuilding world, don't make any crazy comments because we're kind of over that as competitors. Just appreciate the work that she's done. Come along on the journey, root her along, and take away some things in this discussion today that you might be able to apply whether you compete or not. The interesting thing about right now is that we've actually been in a mock peak week. When I work with clients, I like to run a peak week test, if you will, at 2 weeks out, where we set up the diet, we set up her training, and we set up everything to go the way that we expect it to for next week. Why do I do this? I've been doing this for years, and it's a way of working and a way of prepping for a show that I developed when I was coaching myself and then tried it out on other clients and saw that this really worked in helping them to bring together the best bodies of their lives. Now, why the heck would I do something like this? It sounds absolutely crazy, right? You peak twice. Well, if you've ever competed before, you might have remembered times where you went into a show and you looked great, but then you had a show maybe the next week and you looked even better that second week. Well, I've taken that into consideration, and my goal with running a mock peak week is to just be able to set things up so that way the client can just sail in the final week of the show, not worrying about anything and knowing exactly how their body is going to react when we actually put the peak week in process. So let's just go ahead and take a look under the hood and see what Ursula is looking like right now, just about 5 days out or so from her show. So these are her pictures as of this morning. She looks absolutely fantastic and incredible. When you take a look at her photos, what I'm seeing is a body that is ready to go. She is vascular, she is hard, she's striated as well. And I want you guys to keep this in mind. She is a 100% natural competitor. So we are not using any kind of anabolic steroids or any kind of illegal substances to help her to get to this level of leanness. One of the things I love when I take a look at her photos at this point out is the Christmas tree that we see right on her back. And the Christmas tree is basically, it's the lower half of your trapezius muscles and the inner part of the fascia of your lower back. And when you're super lean, that really just pops out and you can see all of the detail on the back in the posing. Now, Ursula is a figure competitor, so one of the things that we're looking for with figure is her shape. We want to make sure that she comes in with an X frame, and I've talked about this before here on my channel about how important the X frame is. All of the judges are trained to see an X frame, so you want to make sure that you have that. Now, what is the X frame? Let's take a look at her body so you can clearly see it, because she has a lovely one. Now, when a judge is looking at symmetry, because that's one of the things that wins shows at bodybuilding competitions, it's symmetry, size, and conditioning. Symmetry is what the judges are looking for when they are evaluating a physique from top to bottom, left to right, and front to back. So we've got some really great symmetry here on Ursula's physique. We've spent a lot of time filling out her shoulder, really taking her back and making it nice and flared out, as you can see when she takes her front and back pose. And we've also worked on bringing up her legs as well. Now, I'm showing you her schedule as it is of today, and this is just right going out into her show. So as you can see, she's pretty much has no workouts, no training, no nothing. She already completed the workout for this specific day, which is Monday, and on here I have none, but today she actually did work out. So I put none there, so that way after the show, when she wants to get back into the gym, I'll determine exactly what she'll do the Monday after the show. But Tuesday and Wednesday are her two final days of training before she goes into the show. Why do I do that? I like to make sure that my competitors are completely rested before they head into a show. So we're not going to be training. We don't want them to be inflamed. We want their muscles to just relax. We want the cortisol levels in the body to go down as well. When you're getting ready for a show, there's a lot of stress involved. And the more that we can eliminate that by having them just rest and recover, the better. Now, this is the schedule that we just came out of. This is her mock peak week. This is what we just ran to get her to where she is by way of the first photos I showed you a moment ago. I was running her ragged the last week into the show. And if you can compare her workouts to the prior week to, let's say, 3 weeks out, where we were still really focusing on specific body parts and pushing with the cardio, the mock peak week that we just came out of allowed us to go ahead and go through some cycles of depletion. So she had some high volume workouts, low volume workouts, which would be more heavier training. And I also set her up on a carb cycle, whereas where you see it says plan 2 on the bottom here, those are all low carb days. We filled her up with plan 1, and I'll show you what that breakdown is in a moment. We filled her up with high carbs on that Wednesday, and then we had an opportunity to see how her body reacts every single day after Wednesday till that Saturday morning, to whether or not she would be lean, hard, vascular, and full. And what I love about that is that we've actually been practicing her carb up for the entire prep, because at around 8 weeks out, that is when I typically will go ahead and start doing carb cycling as a means to helping her to get leaner and practice that peak week every single week. We know exactly how her body is going to react when we fill her up and let her go. Most of her prep, she's been losing consistently on around 1,700 to 1,800 calories a day. But one of the things that I really love to do with her body in specifics is that carb cycling, where we take the carbs way down low, and about once a week, we'll do a big giant refeed, and also make sure that she has a weekly cheat meal. And I'll tell you a little secret, on Fridays before the show and the Friday the week before, I like to go ahead and allow my clients to have a burger and fries to fill them out. We'll talk about that one in a bit. Ursula has about 5 meals a day in her program, and during peak week, we left it exactly the same. And we had a combinations of foods on her program. We had chicken, we had tilapia, we had salmon, we've had eggs as well. Now it's on that carb up day that things get super duper fun. Let's take a look at that one. Ursula's carb up at 124 or so pounds has her eating 2,046 calories for that single day, about 257 grams of carbohydrates, 36 grams of fat, and 161 grams of protein. Now, why did I set it up like that? When you do a carb up, you want your carbs to be super high. Why do they have to be high? Because when you work out and you're depleting your body, you're keeping the carbs low, you are flat, your muscles look one-dimensional, you are tired, your body has depleted all glycogen. But when you go ahead and introduce those carbs to the diet, the body just absorbs it like a sponge, and it shuttles all of that into the muscle bellies along with some water as well. So that fills up your shape and it makes you look really round, really full, and basically ready to step on that stage and dominate. Now, one thing I mentioned to you a little bit earlier is that Ursula is 100% natural. And it's hard for natural competitors to get as lean as they need to be for the show. So one of the things that I can tell you, if you're thinking about stepping on a bodybuilding stage and you want to stay 100% natural, you've got to give yourself enough time to diet. And the other thing that I need you to also keep in mind is that your contest prep doesn't start the moment that you decide that you want to step on the stage. Your contest prep starts in the off season. So you need to be building muscle, you need to be upping your calories, you need to be optimizing your body in order to prime it for this final moment. The peak week is the finisher. Your peak week is the thing that's the icing on the cake. And if you're not ready for the show before you begin that peak, honey, let me tell you something, you're not going to magically just look like a ready competitor for the stage. So the peak week only works when you are truly ready, when you're lean enough and your body is primed for what you need it to do. Ursula started working with me right before the pandemic, so it's been absolutely insane, and we've been waiting for this moment to be able to get her back out there on stage. So this is really our first big show together, and I'm super excited to see how this all pans out. What are your thoughts? Are you a competitor out there who's trying to figure out this peak week thing? Or are you someone who's like curious, you've never seen this before? Are you fascinated? Put your comments below. If you're brand new to the game of bodybuilding, does this inspire you to want to get out there? I want to hear your thoughts, so post them below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure that you go ahead and watch this video, this one. Watch this video right here. I'll see you over there.